As you're aware, I'm currently a candidate for the Ballina Council. I'm running in the B ward and I'm representing the Greens. I'm standing for council because I believe I have the leadership qualities and the vision to make Ballina a more livable and sustainable community. As a councillor in the Ballina Shire, I hope to play a leading role in redirecting council's priorities away from commercial property investments and into the investing in the infrastructure and services that the people of Ballina have been asking for and that the current times and the environment require. Initiatives that are practical, cost-effective and need to be addressed sooner rather than later. If we don't act now, ultimately they will cost more and require greater changes and sacrifices to be made in the future. One of the most practical and urgent needs the Council can provide is leadership and direction. Ballina Council can provide assistance and direction for households and businesses to reduce their waste and energy consumption and provide the infrastructure such as commuter cycleways and bike racks to reduce the reliance on cars as the transport of choice for both residents and tourists. Council already offers rebates and incentives to install rainwater tanks and for solar hot water, and information on what Ballina Council is currently offering is over on one of the information tables at the back. I'll focus my talk tonight on the need to do more to reduce our greenhouse emissions, because after all, it is a climate change forum. I'm aware that Council needs to provide other services and infrastructure, but as I only have about 10 minutes to speak, I'll confine my presentation to this area. Ballina Council needs to show leadership and vision to achieve the emission reductions that is committed to by signing the Cities for Climate Protection Initiative. Furthermore, only last month, Ballina Council also signed the Local Government and Shires Association New South Wales Mayor's Agreement on Climate Change. This current council has committed the Ballina Shire to reducing greenhouse gas emissions by 30% by 2020, based on 1990 emission levels. I feel I need to acknowledge Coroner Alan Rich, who is one of the mayoral candidates at the coming election, for bringing this motion to the council. Without Coroner Rich's leadership on this issue, Ballina Council would not have made this commitment. And I thank the other councillors who voted in favour of this motion to convert it into a resolution. Ballina Council has signed up to these targets and it will be up to the incoming council, which I hope to be a part of, which will need to put in place the necessary frameworks and incentives to make sure that by 2012 we are on track to meeting these targets. It's a big ask, think about it. We have agreed to reduce our greenhouse emissions by 30% by 2020.
The fact that we're here tonight is interesting in and of itself. The fact that there are meetings like this happening around New South Wales and around Australia is interesting in and of itself, in that it shows that there has been a shift in public consciousness about climate change altogether. And the real challenge for the next 4 years is taking the goodwill of the people of Australia and converting that into a measurable reduction in carbon dioxide emissions and other greenhouse gas emissions. So the question we should ask ourselves then is, what constitutes a sensible response to greenhouse gas emissions? What are the characteristics that we ought to be looking for in creating a response, a society-wide response on greenhouse gas emissions? Well, the first is clearly that we need everybody to be involved. And that means individuals, households and communities are really going to have to do the heavy lifting on responding to climate change. And we look at the products available here today, and we look at the number of people who are making environmentally responsible choices in their lives. That has to give us quite a bit of confidence that that process is going to continue. But that's not enough, because all the goodwill and all the good effort of the people, the communities, the households of the state and this nation can be so easily undermined by bad policy making at the state, federal and local levels. So what I want to concentrate on now are those three levels of government and talk about what would constitute good policy at those levels of government.